Hey, how you doing? My name is Nay. For those who know me and those who don't, I ask that the Lord blesses my tongue as I tell you guys this. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So this one is February 4th, 2018. It says I'm with a group of people in the building, maybe a party, I'm not sure. I'm outside next to the building, watching the sky as it turns gray. I look again and there are other people with me. There's something in the sky. I see death, a skeleton of death. He's eating someone. He eats someone. The person is laying on the ground trying to get away, and death is eating him, starting at his legs. I tell the people with me what I seen, and they tell me they see it too. And I'm gonna stop right there. Now the reason why that part is because God is telling me, hey, you see the stuff, you see the people dying, you see that death is here, he's coming, he's come, you see what he's doing. God saying, hey, you telling the people this, they see it too. Basically, God is saying they see it too, they see the death too. Or they see death too. Alright, so now I'm gonna get started again. People are running, trying to get away. The group of people run into a building, a building, gathering their stuff to run back outside to get a big bus, running back outside to get on a big bus to leave. I get into a white car. I'm upset because someone painted my car white. I end up getting into my car to leave, and I think about how messed up my car is and how the back of seat of my car has no floor. All right. Now, the thing about the car is it was one color at first, and I'm not sure what color it was because I automatically knew once I got to this little raggedy car that it was mine. And it was painted another color, whatnot, but it was painted white. Now, with the Lord, when He puts me in vehicles, they always seem to be white. Every once in a while, I get in a car once before I got into a car where it was a different color. But other than that, they're usually white. So I guess that stands for the Lord, pure, clean, The car it seemed to be all messed up. It had no floor. Like when you sit in the back seat or you sit in the front seat, you put your feet on the floor, whatever, whatnot. There was none of that there in my back seat at all. And I couldn't understand. The car was like super raggedy. Death was here, and I was asking everybody if they seen him or not, see him eating that man. But the people, they said they seen it, and everybody started running, but they were getting on this bus to leave. They packed their stuff, they got on the bus to leave. But it's almost seemed more like they wasn't leaving to run or something. I don't feel like they were leaving to run or something like that. I'm not even sure what it was. But I just kept thinking it was something about the way they were leaving. I don't even know what it was, but death was here. Death is here. And people are dying all over the place. And some people you don't even realize are getting ready to die or, certain things and whatnot. Now, I know some people are still watching the news. I choose not to because it bothers me to see if I see certain things on TV and I've known that the Lord and I know that the Lord has already shown it to me. It bothers me because I feel like people could have took a different way of doing certain things, and it's already so bad that people are dying. There's such a separation in the people, and people don't even realize it. We treat one another differently because we're different colors. We treat one another differently because we speak differently. We treat one another as if we don't belong to them or they don't belong to us, or like there is a difference. It's not. It's just not. I was at a store last night, or maybe the night before last or whatever. I went to the store and I was getting some clothes or whatever. And there was this man there. I'm not sure if he was white, Mexican, or Puerto Rican. I don't know. I didn't even pay attention because to me everybody is part of me. So, it doesn't bother me. So he had this big old huge bag of change. And it was full of change, not dollar bills, but it was full of change. And he ended up dropping it all over the floor. And I was getting ready to get my stuff and walk away, and I looked back and I seen that he was down there trying to pick it up. His baby was trying to help him. The girlfriend was trying to help him as well. And this baby couldn't be no more, maybe about 5, maybe 6 years old or something. Maybe, well, not even 6, maybe 4 or 5. And I was looking around at the people, and I watched them watch him, and they walked past him like, okay, whatever. I put my stuff down, I just left it where it was. I put it down where I was standing, and I walked over there to him. And before I even asked him if he needed help, I just bent down and got on my hands and knees, and I said, and once I started helping him, I asked, do you need some help? And he looked at me, he said, yes, thank you. And it was so odd to me to see that people just walking past, and they wasn't paying them no mind. They just looked at him, and they were just like, oh, and they kept walking. Now that stuff right there bothers me. If you see somebody who need help, don't just, if you know you can help them. I mean, it's, to you it may not be anything, but to somebody else that means something. So while I was on my hands and knees helping this man, and he was on his hands and knees, and his girlfriend was back and forth on her hands and knees, and then the little kid was on his hands and knees, we're all right there in a circle side by side. I watch black people, Mexican people, white people, whoever, everybody just walked past. Nobody said, oh, do you need some help? Can I help you? Nobody did anything. And all I kept thinking was, Lord, because they like that, I don't have to be like that. Because they choose not to help somebody else, or they choose to see what somebody else is going through, and they walk past it. I choose not to be like that. I choose to help. So I would like for people to be more like that, instead of just looking and saying, oh, they're going through something. Oh, they just dropped something. Oh, they just did this, and not help. I would prefer that someone would help, because if I was in a situation, I would want someone to help. Because if they walk past me, honestly, I don't know what I would have done. I would have said, so y'all see me right here, and y'all know I need help. Y'all see me on my hands and knees. What's wrong with you? And it's those moments where you don't just say what's wrong with you. You stop and say, what's wrong with me? Where you won't stop and help me. I'm a part of you. My Father, my God, your Father, your God made you. We ought to help one another, and you choose to walk past me when I'm going through something. You choose to ignore me or avoid me. I even have those situations where I drive down the street and I see someone on the side of the street, and if I know that I'm going too fast, or I've already passed them up, or if I know I'm not going to be able to stop, or I'm in a rush or whatnot, I still pray, Lord, help, let somebody stop and pull over and help that man. Let somebody stop, pull over, help that woman. Let somebody help that person. I don't know how to work on cars. I do bare minimum because of my dad. He works on cars, My dad will take a car apart in a second and put it back together, That's him. But I only know what little things like my dad's taught me, He's tried to teach me a lot of things with my car, and I'll get out there and try to do some stuff on my own before I call him and mess some stuff up, trying to learn myself. But people don't do as they're supposed to do, and that bothers me so much. So yeah, death is coming. Death is around. I feel death when he's too close to me, when he's coming for somebody I love, someone I know, either whether it's somebody I love or someone I know. So I get cautious, and I worry about people so much. Whether it's somebody who's crossing the street, I may not even know their name, never even seen this person a day in my life. I still sit back and say, Lord, please don't let them get hurt. Watch over them, keep them safe. I pray for a lot of people, and I do it so often that it doesn't really affect me. It doesn't really bother me, or I don't really notice it. That's the word. I don't notice that I'm doing it because I'm so worried about somebody else. Now, death is here, and I'm feeling death here. I'm knowing death is here, and other people are too, but nobody seems to care. It's just like in the Bible, people going to be going about doing whatever they doing, and things is going to happen, and people just going to think, oh, okay, it's like whatever. That's not the case. There is war in heaven. There is war here. And I don't know how to explain that to most people or whatever, but I know one thing. I got to get these prophecies out, because most of them have already come to pass. Some of them are still going on today, and people just don't realize it. Like the Lord has shut some of the things that he's shown me up, because I haven't put the prophecies out like I'm supposed to. So I know I need to get back to it. Mainly because He showed me the other night that somebody on the other side in the spiritual world who's passed from this world onto the spiritual world is protecting my children. And they're fighting for my children, and they're fighting. This person is fighting for my children. This person is fighting hard. I watched this person fight and fight and fight with somebody who wanted to kill my kids. You know, so the Lord's telling me, hey, this person is fighting for you, or hey, I'm sending an angel down to fight for your children. And I watched, and it dawned on me. It kind of, I was happy that the person was protecting my children, because I see everything that's going on in the world and what my kids go through and everything, and I pray so much and so often that the Lord watches over my children, and the Lord watches over me. You know, if I can't always be with my children, they go to school, you know, I work and whatnot. But when I'm not around, I want my children to be protected, whether they home, whether they're at school, whether they um field trips or playing outside. I don't know, whatever it is, because you know you can't always be with your children 24/7 because they grow up. But in my absence, I want my children looked after 100%. If I'm here and my children are somewhere with my family at school, whatever the case is, I want to make sure that my kids make it back to me, and I want to make sure that I make it back to my children. So, you guys, people are not paying attention, but death is here, and I know some people feel it, because I had a situation where my sister called me or whatever, and she felt death around her. She felt something was wrong. She knew what it was. So we had to go bless her house. And she was telling me she heard growling in her house, and it got so loud it was in her head. And she could hear it loud, almost like a freeway. So I just want you guys to pay attention, because most people are not doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the next one. This is also February 4th, and I know I have a couple of them that are February 4th. I just put two others out on that one video that was also February 4th. I get it, I understand. With this one, it wasn't something the Lord told me. It was something He showed me. It looked like a staff, with a moon on top of it, and the staff kind of went in an angle. So it was the moon at the top. It looked like a moon at the top of a circle, and then it kind of went in an angle, like a half moon, and then it was on a staff, like a stick. You know, that's what I saw. That one was also February 4th. That's what I saw. So I'm going to go ahead and end this one, because the next one is one. So it's 2 pages front and back, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little while. So I'm going to go ahead and end this one and head to the next. I love you guys. I'll be right back.